Okay, so hold on a second. What about housing? Are we in for trouble with housing? Because that's what the media is going to say. The media has been talking about housing had gone up 121 consecutive months. The last 2 months, it's gone down tiny fractions, 1/10 and 2/10 of 1%. But before that, we had 121 straight months of home values going up. Straight. Wouldn't a recession cause home values to go down? Because the media is going to be talking about that. Well, no, because here's the last nine recessions that are shaded. The last 9 recessions show you that home values actually went up during and after the recession 8 of 9 times. Okay, so what happened here? Well, you had too much supply and not enough demand. That, at its core, was the problem. So let's go through it together. Too much supply, where does supply come from? Supply comes from builders building and completing homes that you can move into. It's not a hole in the ground, it's a completed home. That's your supply. It's not somebody who sells their home and then moves into a new one because that's inventory neutral. Okay, so where does demand come from? How do you measure demand? You measure demand by a household formation. So what's that? Here's a good example. Imagine mom, dad, and a child. They all live in one home together. So they live in one household. There comes a point in time where that child moves out. The average age is age 33, that they move out, and now you have the same mom, dad, and child, but they live in 2 households instead of 1. So they formed a household when that child moves out. That's how you measure demand, household formations. Here's a chart that shows both. The blue lines, households being formed over the last 20 years. The gold bars, builders putting up homes for the past 20 years. Now, let's take a look at 2004 and 2005. A lot of demand, but even more supply. That's okay because every year about 100,000 homes because of aging have to be replaced. So it's okay for builders to build a little more, and you had a perfectly strong market here, good equilibrium. But something crazy happened in 2006. In 2006, you had builders put up more homes than they ever built in our history. We came nowhere close even today. But wait a second. Those 33-year-olds moving out and getting their own home, it fell off a cliff. And then the next year, too. What the heck happened there? Because the following year, builders built a whole bunch more homes. And then the following year, the same thing. You had a full-blown housing bubble. Way too much supply, not enough demand. And by the way, then exacerbate this situation with, how about no income? No, trying to juice the amount of demand. How about if we do no income, no asset, no job, investors, 580 FICO, nothing down? But it was still way too much supply, and not enough demand. Now, eventually things leveled out and then turned. And if you want to know why the real estate market's been so strong, look no further than right here. It's the opposite. Too much demand for homes, not enough supply for homes. That's why inventory is tight. Prices have gone up. So as we look at this, and people are talking about housing bubble, let's understand, well, can this happen again? Well, builders aren't putting up this level of homes, nowhere close. So we see that's not the case. But what about the demand? Can this drop off? Can we see the level of 33-year-olds here do it again and drop off a big cliff like that? Well, let's see what caused it. So if these 33-year-olds really slowed down, what was the reason for it? Well, maybe could it have been lower birth rates from 33 years before? Well, let's look at that. So 2006, the 33-year-olds dropped way off a cliff. So does that mean when they were born in 1973 that births dropped off a cliff? Let's look. Oh, wow. Look at this. 1973. Big drop. And then a big drop again. I will give you the statistical reason. There is a reason for this. Now, remember, I offer no opinions whatsoever. I am simply giving you the statistical reason, and it is because abortions were legalized. So abortions were legalized, and remember, pregnancy takes, over 9 months, so therefore it can straddle a couple of years here. So you see the big drop in births. It eventually levels out and then starts coming up. There was a reason for that because then 33 years later, the amount of 33-year-olds was, as you could see here, much less. It's a hand in glove. Big drop, flattens out, goes up. Exactly the same as you see here. So what does the future hold in store? Can that happen again? Well, here we are, 2023. The crop of 33-year-olds, when were they born? Well, they were born in 1990. Let's take a peek here at birth rates from 1990. And isn't that amazing? Very different picture than here. Can you have a housing bubble? Not with the demand that you have here. Okay, we know we don't have the supply. We know we have more demand. So it makes for a very different picture just demographically.